Well, hi, y'all. This is Steve, 1,000 Year House. So I want to talk today about dirt and the dirt that you might have. Now, the dirt that I have is clay. And clay is a mixed blessing, let me tell you. There's a lot I can't do with it. I can't grow stuff straight in it. It's just too strong, too potent. Dimensionally, my clay is stable, but clay can be dimensional in that when it does get water, it swells up. I lucked out I'm not on the black clay, which we call gumbo sometimes. You add a little water, it swells up. I had a house. Many people in Texas have had a house on black clay, and I guarantee you'll need to get it leveled professionally. They should just build it with the piers and leveling in it. But out here on this farm, I have mostly stable clay, dimensional clay. I'm down in a valley that's been diluvian for, as long as Texas has been above the oceans. But using it for roads and using it for surfaces, very problematic for me. I have to get it packed in, and I have to get it packed in such a way that when the rains come, it rolls off the top layer. And then I have to put something over the top of the clay. I can use it underneath and it'll hold together. Let me rotate and show you. So like this road here, it's solid, it's stable, right? But this I just dug out of this pond right here, and it's not stable. So the first thing when I brought it out, these clumps of clay, it hadn't rained and they were as hard as rocks, and many of them are still hard as rocks. So what I need to do is now pack it down so that I can overtop it with the topsoil and get some grass in it. Then the rain, when it comes, will just roll off. Now, where this kind of clay that's, 12 feet deep, who knows how deep, really deep clay, really shines, is ponds. And in Texas, I'm grateful for it, I'll tell you. But this clay is way too strong for me to grow stuff in. Nor can you say, I'll cut it with sand. If you cut it with sand, you just make like a concrete out of it, and it's worse. Some things love it, I'll tell you. Pecan trees, if I could get them started, would love it. The mesquite, the junipers, things that like marginalized soil. And really, it's not marginalized. It isn't marginalized, it's over abundant. It's so hot that it just chokes to death everything. But looky there, I got a quarter inch of rain, maybe an inch of rain after 90 days of drought, and that's day 2 of it just sitting here, right? That's amazing in the hot Texas sun. But to turn this into a road, the first thing I have to do is recompress the clay that I dug out of that pond, and then I can overtop it like I did here. So what am I doing today? Well, I am driving back and forth over the top of it, not so much that it turns to gumbo. If I drive too much, it'll liquefy, right? And then it'll just liquefy, but just enough to compact it. For that, the ag tires are perfect, right? They distribute the load. They're a little wider. They're not cutting in. And so I'm going to drive over a whole surface with these ag tires and just kind of pack it all down and resurface it. I'll do a little bit here, and then I don't have my regular camera, so I'm not going to stop motion it. But we'll do a little bit on this right about, just so you can see how it does it. And I'll shoot along this edge where you can really see it's rough. And I'll crush it down, and then you and I will take a look at what I've accomplished. Alrighty. right, so the important thing to remember about clay, especially working with it when it's hard and in a drought, Rome isn't built in a day. I'm not going to get this thing leveled in a day, but looky here, for example, where I drove the tires through. Now, I'm able to, you could clearly see, you know, high spots versus, you know, I'm getting there. And then over here around edges where the edge might be soft, my tractor might roll in. I just put those bags down. They haven't had a time to sit and cure for this side. So if I drove my tractor too close, what it's going to do is compact the clay, and the clay is going to push the you know, the culvert protection off. So in that particular case, what I use, you know, are just earth tampers. Now, the difference between me and a machine, oh my gosh, night and day. If I ran over that with the tractor, it would be flattened. But this is a 20-pound hand tamper. And granted, you know, I'm doing it one-handed while I hold the camera. But you can see that there is, the tractor is the right way to go. But I'll get some more clay on top of this as I dig out, refine the pond shape a little bit. I left all of those big clunks in there because once it fills up, there'll be a place that frogs can hide and things can hide until a little bit of weeds can grow up and protect all the animals. So I'm deliberately leaving a little bit of clay there, but when I get this all tamped down the first time, then I'll bring in topsoil and I'll go ahead and grade that, and I could throw grass seed on it and then grass will grow here. So, but anyway, places like this where there's a fine edge, you know, I have to hand tamp it, but you can really see the difference between letting the tractor do the work and a human being. This will tire me out. I'll show you one other place that I have to hand tamp. All right, here's another culvert. And I haven't, you know, I haven't glued these in. They're just setting there. I kind of like the stack stone vibe. But if I come in here with a tractor and hit it, if I drive over it, it will push all these stones and knock them all over. So this is another spot where, you know, I'll just have to take my time. I'll have to compress it a little at a time with the hand tamper. Break down these big clunks. That one didn't break down at all. Get a little surface over the top of it. There we go. I've learned these. I can also do this. Look how hard that is. It's so ridiculous. I know I'm not able to swing two hands, but come on. Oh my gosh. Anyway, learning to live in harmony with the soil you have. It's a little bit of a trip. It's a little bit of a difficulty. A little bit of a challenge. That one I might try to run over with the tractor. After all, we'll see. We'll see. But over here's another spot where I'm slowly bringing in the topsoil. There'll be a little bridge right here that'll go over to the other side. For those of you who've been watching the channel, the purpose of the bridge will be, I'll use the same building method as I'm going to use on the roof, but because it's low, I can inspect it. Because it'll have live loads on it, walking, it'll have a higher wear rate. So whatever I see happening to this bridge, I could suspect will be happening to the roof in some amount of time. So that'll be nice. Plus, it'll be nice to have a little, you know, Archimedes bridge over that. My goal today will be to try to gather up all of the supplies. I've been super busy, so. All right, well, there's my dirt work. Using the dirt I have. Everybody, oh, truck this in, truck that in. Well, you don't have to truck anything in if you're patient. Take care. I could not have worse road than this. I could not. And here we go. A very good road there. Got a, you know, a berm here coming. It was super sharp and felt weird to drop a wheel off into it. But now I'll get topsoil and I'll start putting topsoil around. I packed things down pretty well. I mean, it's a first pass, right? Can my horses use the horse trail without them sinking in? Yeah, they can, as long as it's not a torrential rainfall. Wherever there's deep pockets, that'll fill up, soften the clay there. So I need to get a little better. This looks 1,000 times better for having run it over. And I don't even have a roller. So I've got a little 30-gallon hot water tank that I've got in the back I picked up alongside the road. And I'm going to put a shaft in it and an axle and run that about with concrete in it. But I don't have that right now. I'm just using my ag wheels. All looks good. Not perfect, but good. There's a promise. I've got a good berm here. My swale is swaling, running into the garden. The overflow for the pond is taken care of. All right. Well, thank you for today's discussion. Thank you for looking at me crushing clay down. That's got to be exciting. Woo-wee! I got to watch Steve run over dirt. I need my cowboy hat. It's already gotten hot. Back to hot. All right. My encouragement to you today is use the tools you have and use the supplies you have and do the best you can. And it'll go a long way. All right. Like, subscribe, follow me along. Bye.